Caught in the act, a professional art thief who steals priceless paintings to order. Good evening, gentlemen. Can you explain this stolen property that you have all over the bed here? The results of a recent robbery in Norfolk, where an old man was almost killed. Tonight, the Cook Report exposes one of the world's biggest criminal trades.
Antiques art is stolen to make money by villains, by criminals.
Cleared all that and went, and nobody saw or heard a thing.
You're talking about individuals who are basically opportunists.
Picked off the back of the van, put it on their van and drive away.
The stately homes of England attract millions of visitors every year. Among them are some who plan a return visit to help themselves to the exhibits. One of the victims who now runs the stately home equivalent of Neighbourhood Watch is Sir Thomas Ingleby.
At the bottom end of the trade, you're talking about individuals who are basically opportunists, and they'll take what they can when they see the opportunity to do it. At the top end, the more serious end, you are talking about very highly organised gangs who will plan the thefts like a military campaign. Nothing will be left to chance.
How seriously are the police taking this?
They weren't perhaps taking it very seriously until links emerged that some of the more valuable works of art are being exported and used as collateral against drug purchases elsewhere. Then they started to realise that this was in fact funding some very major crime syndicates.
Sir Thomas coordinates intelligence on major art and antique thefts across Britain from his home at Ripley Castle.
What effect has this had on insurance premiums?
Fairly horrendous.
Tonight he's going to help us in a unique experiment to catch a thief.
We find that the paintings that are being stolen most regularly are those involving animals and horses, dogs in particular, paintings like this, which, being a middle-range painting, sort of in the £30,000 to £50,000 category, is going to sell particularly well.
And is there a price level that you have to steal to, as it were?
Yes, if they steal anything too valuable, they make it virtually unsaleable because they get pictures published in the papers and in various trade magazines, and no one's in the market to buy it because it's too well known.
So if we were to ask you whether we could borrow this painting, to have it copied, and use it as bait, what would you say?
I think that would be a fascinating experiment, and yeah, we'd certainly go along with that.
Right. Thank you. The man who will take our bait is Chris Baldwin, who boasts that he earns a rich living from robbing stately homes.
When I find jobs on my own, normally what I do is I have to go past it all different times of day, night, and I seem to remember when the curtains be hanging, and just sort of working out in your head that things ain't right, you know? Yeah, and I've had some fantastic results.
To tempt crooked dealers, we invent a foreign collector with a weakness for hot property. We put out the word that we're in touch with a man with lots of money for stolen art, and within days we're led to what is quite literally a thieves' kitchen.
They're bought now. I'll give you private time now. So is that what he wants? Genuine?
Our undercover camera team are posing as the foreign collector's henchmen in England. On offer, a collection of stolen silverware.
Yeah? All these here, Bob, I tell you the exact words. He wants 300 quid for the lot. I don't even know if it's worth it.
The man offering us the silver is Bob Baldwin, the father of Chris, the stately home thief. And he thinks he has one antique that is sure to be of interest to our bogus collector. He tempts us with a picture of a 17th century chest, said to be worth around £45,000 when it was stolen 2.5 years ago.
He's actually got the newspaper itself. Tells you the date and everything, so you know it went 2 years ago.
Whether it's from a stately home or a terrace home, there's an art or antique theft every few minutes somewhere in Britain. From this old rectory in Norfolk, thieves grabbed a £250,000 haul. The 73-year-old owner was threatened with a knife, tied up with tape, bundled into a bag and left to suffocate. By one of those strange ironies of fate, he took part in a reconstruction of the crime for Crime Watch UK last week. Owner Brian Hall told us how 3 men had seized him in his driveway.
They grabbed me and bundled me through the porch into the front hall, up the wide oak staircase to the top landing. We turned to the right and then left into the west bedroom, and I was dumped on the bed. My wrists were taped with screening tape behind my back, and my ankles were also taped with and then I was lifted up and thrown on the bed, face downwards, my face sinking into a very, very soft pillow, and I couldn't breathe. And I called out, "Will you kindly turn me round? I can't breathe. I'm suffocating." And so they did.
You must have been pretty frightened.
I thought it was the end. I thought obviously they want to kill me.
When the gang left, Mr. Hall managed to swing himself off the bed and cut himself free with a pair of his wife's nail scissors.
I looked through the drawing room door and I could see all the miniatures had gone. And bit by bit I realized this was rather more than just a walk in and grab what they could and go, but they had a certain knowledge of what things were worth from a monetary point of view.
So who might be behind Brian Hall's attackers?
There is a myth that there is a Dr. No type character who's holding stolen art secretly somewhere, or a number of these kind of people. My experience is such that I've never come across them, I've never heard of them, they do not exist. It is a myth. People steal property to make money. They are villains and criminals.
People like Bob Baldwin and the next man he introduces us to, Peter Gillingham. He deals in stolen paintings.
Who I think that work is by?
Who's on?
Engelhardt.
Yeah.
Gillingham shows us 10 miniatures. 9 of them turn out to have been stolen in the raid on Brian Hall's rectory.
Right, okay.
Together, they're worth more than £50,000.
Oh, it's on there, do you think?
Back to the painting we borrowed from Sir Thomas Ingleby. We can't risk the theft of the original, so we hire an expert to make us a perfect copy. We transform an isolated barn in South Wales into an art restorer's studio. It is here that the copied painting is brought. And it's from here that it will be stolen to order. So this is to be the scene of the crime, a crime we're assured will be committed by a man who boasts he makes a living out of stealing from country houses and can steal any item to order. He says he's going to creep a certain painting for us. All we have to do is tell Chris Baldwin where it is, show him a photo of the painting, and wait for results. Stolen paintings and artifacts are logged by the Art Loss Register, which is backed by the major auction houses and insurers.
There's a huge amount of stolen art out there, and nobody quite knows the figures worldwide, but they have to be in the region of 3 billion a year, which is a colossal amount of art, and it's thought that it comes after drugs and arms traffic as the third, probably a long way down after those, but it's an enormous trade.
Managing Director James Empson has a database of major art robberies.
Well, we've got on our database here 285 Picassos of one sort or another, drawings as well as paintings on the database. There are 88 Salvador Dali, 240 Jean Miro, Marc Chagall 207, Rodin 31, Matta 85, Hockney 40, and so on.
We know that one of our suspect dealers is hawking round a painting of Hong Kong junks by an artist called Seago. It features in the Art Loss Register as stolen. So what if we happen to find it up for sale?
What we'll do is, first of all, check on the status of the item just to make sure it hasn't been recovered in the meantime. If we're happy that it's still stolen property, will get in touch with the rightful owner at this stage. It may be the insurance company if they're paid out, or still be the property of the victim. We will then notify the police, the auctioneer, if it's turned up at an auction house, that the item has reappeared.
Throughout the country, police forces have been carrying out raids in a concerted operation to claw back stolen property.
Police!
Operation Bumblebee has been going on for 3 years. The property recovered is just as likely to have come from the inner city as it is from a country seat. And in an effort to reunite owners with their treasures, the police have been putting on road shows.
Mass-produced ones that you can buy and they never turn.
Did that one have a plinth?
Which ones do you think are yours?
That, and that.
Shall we see if they fit in the box?
They're the ones.
These goblets are going back to their rightful owner, but such happy reunions are rare.
In the 5 or 6 weeks since we've had all this property here, we've only been able to trace 6 pieces. That's a very, very small percentage. They have in fact come from as far afield as the West Country, from London, and from counties surrounding our own force area in Norfolk.
Sadly, few people have good descriptions or take good photographs of their arts and antiques. If they don't have that information, the databases which are around can't be used effectively, and the prospect of you recovering your property is very, very remote.
Meanwhile, back to Bob Baldwin's antique chest, which it seems did almost fall off the back of a lorry.
That was being delivered to a place over Oxford Street. Now that...
In Oxford Street, yeah?
I think it was Oxford
Yeah,
Street,
okay,
or somewhere
yeah.
over that way anyway, right? Now, these people just walked along, picked off the back of the van, put it on their van and drove away.
Just like that?
Like, just like that.
Oh, fine.
Then, of course, it comes in the paper, blah, blah. Well, I showed you the paper,
Yeah,
didn't I?
yeah.
You take that away if you want it. On a bit of paper telling you all about it and blah, blah, blah. They just walked up and insured it, and that had a price tag on it, 45 grand.
Bob Baldwin takes us to the house of another handler, Tim Pontin. He's agreed to show us the chest itself,
Is that all right there?
Yes,
What's a bit more light for?
and obligingly tips it up for our secret camera.
Yes, lovely.
The thieves who supply the likes of Baldwin and Pontin are constantly seeking likely targets. Almost everyone has something worth stealing.
We're talking about vast quantities of antiques, heirlooms, people who have inherited property from their grandparents, great sentimental value, and this forms the bulk of the property which is stolen from our homes today. Unfortunately, the problem is increasing because dealers do not ask questions when they're buying this kind of property. They pay cash to people who are anonymous to them, they're not interested where they got it from, and they are feeding the crime.
At our phony art restorer's studio in South Wales, we watch, but we don't have to wait too long. The barn is in pitch darkness. With our special blacklight cameras, we can see every detail. Chris Baldwin can't. But he quickly finds the picture that he's here to steal. And opportunist that he is, he decides to take another 2 for himself. We know what'll happen next because we've deliberately mounted our painting in an oversized frame, which won't go through the window. But with an expert twist and pull, the painting is out of its frame and our target is clambering back into the darkness. The whole very professional job has taken less than 2 minutes. On to Bexhill for another meeting with Peter Gillingham, who believes we're anxious to buy more paintings.
Thanks.
Gillingham introduces us to his associate, Tony Davis.
Hello, Tony.
The very first painting he offers us, the stolen Seago we'd seen on the art loss register.
Oh, right.
Now that's Edward Seago. Now that's his Hong Kong period, which is, if you stand back, you can see it, the class in it. He went to Hong Kong, he painted a few there, and they're so sought after because they're rare.
So what do you reckon this is worth?
Very minimum, £5 grand. Probably now more like 6 to 8. But very minimum 5.
How long's this one been walking?
That one's had 4 years.
And we hear more about stolen miniatures.
You know, the real bells.
Yeah.
Right. You know, tell him what they sell, one picture.
Well,
just go through the little bit of it.
I've got one of his portraits is a woman, and she was a beauty at the time. And I've got the Earl of Southampton.
Right.
And they're by Samuel Cooper, who is the top miniaturist.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Samuel Cooper.
Came prepared tonight. I know you like...
Nelson Eddy.
Well, I'll tell you
With
what.
the help of some insurance money, we can establish our business credentials beyond question. We offer to buy 2 stolen paintings at a fraction of their real value.
Leave it.
All right.
You want some of his bag?
Yeah, why not? Nice touch.
And back at the offices of the Art Loss Register, we give them the good news.
Yes.
Something for you, Sarah? A stolen Seago, perhaps?
Certainly is. Oh, that's brilliant. Well done. Getting it back. That's brilliant. Really well done. It's fantastic.
And as ever, good news travels fast. By now, we reckon it's about time to make an offer on that antique chest.
I think you should count it. I prefer you to do that, okay? So, because, you know, we all count a little differently.
Once again, it's a cash transaction, and Bob Baldwin is happy to count out the money.
As soon as you can have it.
Pontin and Baldwin even give us
Right.
a receipt.
It's not my sort of money or cabinet.
Yeah,
Well, it's another bloke's.
right.
Hey, Mike.
Okay, perfect.
They helped us load up, too. As far as they're concerned, it's the first of many consignments we'll be sending abroad. They won't be the only ones surprised when it makes its next appearance. In a hotel lift, we meet Chris Baldwin, who's about to hand over the painting he stole for us.
I think it's very ugly. And a repair, which don't look very good.
Right.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
We pay over the money, and that's all the evidence the police will need.
What can you make anything on those paintings? Dad had a bloke look at them. They're worth 20 quid.
We're at the end of a long and fairly windy road. 3 years ago, this magnificent £30,000 chest was stolen, literally, off the back of a lorry. But now, after a lot of hard work and not a little luck, we're in a position to be able to return it to its rightful owner. Mr. Harvey, Roger Cook. I've got something I think you might like to see. Come with me. You have.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's incredible. Where did you get this? This is my chest. I lost this 2.5 years ago. It was stolen. Oh, that's unbelievable. Oh, me. Oh, good heavens.
In good fettle, is it? Seems to be.
Yes, yes. There's a couple of little marks on there. Somebody's had a kick at the foot. Oh, that's unbelievable.
Good. What's it worth?
Oh. Well, if I had that today, I'd I'd certainly be asking somewhere around £35,000 for it.
Well, you have got it. We're bringing it back to you.
What do you mean you're bringing it back to me?
It's now yours. Well, it always was, but we've recovered it for you.
Oh, sorry. That's incredible. I'm absolutely speechless. I just... Oh. I don't know what to say.
Thanks would do.
Thank you.
Time now to play our trump card, our bogus foreign collector.
This is Mr. Ray.
Greed has drawn Gillingham and friends to a meeting at a Brighton hotel.
Hi, how are you?
How are you, for you?
I'm Tony.
Hello, Tony.
With Gillingham, Tony Davis and a third man. They think they're going to sell us more paintings, but they're in for a shock.
As soon as you said you wanted something, we got it. And we've got something for you now. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
For openers, Davis offers us 2 miniatures. They're not the ones we came for, but we now know they're stolen and worth £45,000. Davis identifies them as the Samuel Coopers he mentioned at our first meeting. Satisfied there are deals in prospect, the other 2 decide to fetch the paintings they've left outside in the safety of their car.
Yeah, you have to understand this. How long did these 2 disappear?
15 years.
So they are clean?
I mean, as I say, it's 15 years, and since then they've been locked away.
Yeah.
First time offered on the market. The person who these have come from put them in the box and said, "That's going to be my pension." Well, I was wary.
Davis explains his caution.
Don't you think I'm wary?
No, we were wary that it might be a police setup.
Have you ever seen an English policeman with my accent?
No, no.
A knock at the door, and in comes Gillingham with the stolen miniatures.
I'm happy, Jackson. You never told me the paintings were here. You never told me the Coopers were here today.
Ironically, as they're unwrapped, the television set in the corner of the room is tuned to Crime Watch, which is featuring the raid on the rectory. As the programme appeals for help in recovering the pictures, one by one, they're set out on the bed for the Cook report.
How long have these collections been in your possession? 2.5 months. 2.5 months? Yeah. Then it's not okay. I like that. That's up there.
Gillingham offers the time-worn excuse that he got the pictures in a car boot sale.
Just put it this way, the top house in London,
yeah,
I've got a contact inside, and they've been checked out for me and researched, and I got the all clear.
Good evening, gentlemen. Can you explain this stolen property that you have all over the bed here? The results of a recent robbery in Norfolk, where an old man was almost killed. You've also previously sold us... You've also previously sold us paintings which were stolen. The men are only too keen to leave. Behind them on the bed, they leave stolen paintings worth more than £100,000. Last night, we returned some of their miniatures to Bryan Hall.
All I can say is a very big thank you to all concerned in the recovery of some of my prized possessions. And as I said before, thank you is a very inadequate word, but my goodness me, I don't think I shall sleep tonight. I'll probably do some housework until the early hours and retire to bed at 2:30.
In all, 13 valuable paintings have now been returned to their rightful owners, and there's more good news on the way. All our evidence on Bob and Chris Baldwin, Peter Gillingham and Tony Davis has been passed to the police, who'll be feeling their collars any day now.